6 in and 1 out, and maybe one more still to come. But how good has the transfer window been for Nottingham Forest? Welcome to Forest Fan TV. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome to Forest Fan TV. As the window has finally closed, the chaos of January has come to an end. Or has it? As Forest still may be signing one more striker. I really hope we don't, because it's Ayew. Ayew? Who you? He's 33 on a free transfer coming from Saudi. Nah, for me. But anyway, we'll get into that if and when it does happen. We're going to rate the players today, and we're going to rate the overall transfer window. But more importantly, I want to know what you guys think about the window, and has it been a success, or would you have liked to seen one or two more, or maybe one or two less? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget, tonight there's the small matter of the second leg of the semi-final of the Mickey Mouse Cup now. Well, unless we win 4-0. We'll have the watch along for you guys tonight, as well as hopefully the new style player ratings. You guys are going to love it if we have it ready in time. If you're enjoying all the content, if you've bared with us throughout the window, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, get those notifications on so you don't miss a thing. This is officially the most watched Forest Fan TV channel on YouTube. All right, let's get into it, and let's get into these ratings. We're going to start from first in the door to last in the door on this transfer window, and it starts with Scarpa. And what a way to start. I mean, technically, this isn't really part of this transfer window. It's more that the paperwork was done. This was a deal that was agreed back in the summer. But for me, Scarpa is a signing and a half. One of my favorite players already at Nottingham Forest. In the limited time we've seen him on the pitch, he's had me on the edge of my seat on more than one occasion. That wand of a left foot, that dead ball specialist, and of course, his off-the-pitch antics. I think he has been huge for Forest, not just because he's a fantastic player, but because what he's done with the Brazilian that we already had in there, Renan Lodge, in terms of how he's brought him out of his shell, how he's made him settle a lot quicker, and how he's turned, and you've been able, to see those performances from Lodge on the pitch. And it's no coincidence that Scarpa has been a catalyst to that change. He's going to be big for us the second half of the season. He's still settling in. Let's not forget, he's not been in Nottingham that long. But it's not just Lodge that he's going to impact. Danilo, we'll talk about Danilo obviously in a second. He's obviously instigated it. Agent Scarpa had a role to play in getting Danilo over the line for Nottingham Forest. And overall, I'm going to give Scarpa, in terms of the impact and the ability, I'm going to give him a huge 9 out of 10. Is that too much or too little? Let me know down in the comments below if you agree or disagree. Next man through the door was Danilo. Danilo, the 21-year-old. Pogba-esque, Casemiro-esque, Jude Bellingham-esque, Kante-esque. There's been so many esques attached to him. I just want him to be Danilo-esque, because Danilo-esque is exactly what we were trying to sign. We got him on a fantastically long contract at 6.5 years for a bargain price of 16 million, raising up to 18. And with Danilo, I think he has the potential to go a long way. Already, with even less game time exposure than we've seen on Scarpa, he has caught my eye on the pitch, especially in that Manchester United first leg game in the Carabao Cup. I expect this guy to get better and better, not just throughout the season, but over the next couple of years. He comes with great accolades behind him from his time at Palmeiras. He's already had a cap in the Brazilian squad. He's got plenty and plenty of potential. Not only do I want to rate the actual potential here, but I want to rate the deal that the recruitment team have done on Danilo. Finding a talent this young and tying him down for 6.5 years is one hell of a deal. The deal itself, I would give a 9 out of 10. and the player for his potential still to come, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. Do you guys agree with that or not? Let me know. Next person through the door was Christopher Wood. And is this guy going to rise to the occasion or is he going to flop? Out of all the signings, this one is the most puzzling to me, but in a way I can understand it as well. We needed some presence up front. He is big, strong, and slow. He can find the back of the net, but hasn't for a long time. The deal itself is okay, you can understand it. A loan with an obligation to buy. On paper, it sounds weird. 15 million for a plus 30-year-old who hasn't scored very many goals in the last 12 months. But prior to that, was the most consistent, getting into double figures, I think, for 4 seasons in a row. I'll be straight with you guys, I always am. I don't see him being a success at Forest. I think he may cause the game to slow down. We've got real fast transition in the attack with the pace of Morgan Gibbs-White, Brennan Johnson, Scarpa, etc. I think Chris Wood, if he doesn't link the play well and get them overlapping around him, we may find it gets slowed down. The other fear, that's the word I'm looking for, I have about it, is if we turn into long ball FC. Long ball FC where the keeper is trying to pick him out for a flick on, the defense is just punting the ball up towards him. For me, that's a worry. But if we use him with his back to goal, holding the defenders off, bringing in the wingers, then maybe he can be a success. The 15 million obligation to buy, look, I personally would say if he's not working out after a couple of matches, bench him, and that way we don't need to pay the 15 million and we can, get a refund on him from Newcastle. But I'm just not convinced on this one, but I'm not going to judge him too early. I'm going to give the Chris Wood signing, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I feel there were better options that we could have gone for, striker-wise. He wasn't top of my list. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. Next through the door, we've got the 3 from yesterday, and we'll go by officially announced, and I think the first one announced was Felipe. Look, Felipe is a player I brought to your attention 3 or 4 weeks ago when we told you that his contract was running out and there was talks and rumblings that he could leave Atleti. He brings experience. He brings a hard man approach. I mean, I'm sure most of you remember what happened in the Champions League against Man City. But it's not just that what he brings leadership skills and he brings a connection to Logi. He can play either side. A lot of you have been asking me, where does he fit in? He can play left side of centre-back or right side of centre-back. It doesn't really matter to him. He's actually naturally right-footed. I've seen his interview today. I've been impressed with it. He's very confident, which is what I like. And rightly so. He's got, the history to prove and back that confidence up. Question for me on him is, has he still got the legs for the Premier League? He's definitely got the attitude for it. He should be settling in quick. He's moved in with Logi at the moment. Their families know each other really well. They're good mates off the pitch. I kind of like this one. There's just something in me that's not fully convinced, but at the same time, it's like conflict. I don't know how to explain it. I got full conflict on this one because I was desperate for a centre-back. Desperate. And I just think that I'll take him over anything we had other than Newcastle in the club. So I am happy. I don't know. I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to do well if partnered correctly. Look, if we go for a back 5 of Navas or Hendo in goal, for me, it would be Hendo. And then you're putting Aurier and Logi as left and right backs. And then you got Niyakate once he's fit alongside Felipe. You know what? I like the sound of that. I do. And I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. He's cheap. Remember, you got to take into account the actual deal. 2 million, 1.5 year contract. So it's not long term at all. It's not going to be a case of he's, in the graveyard shift, decaying on the bench while we're trying to run him out to some other club. It's short, it's sweet. There's a bit of short-termism about it because we need to survive in the Premier League. I'm happy to give this one an 8 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, next through the door was Johnjo Shelvey from Newcastle United on an undisclosed fee, a fee that's not going to be huge. This one, I think half the day, I think he's going to be really successful. The other half, I think he's going to be spending time with Omar Richards in the sick bay. Oh, this one is, if he's not injured, he's going to be good. That's what I'll say about him. He knows the Premier League. He comes with experience. He's one of the best passers in the division, potentially. And he's quite a hardened battle warrior on the pitch, which we usually like to see at the City ground. He's also very good at retaining the ball, which is something we've been lacking in the midfield. This one is all about fitness for me. If he stays fit, he will perform. But will he stay fit is the question. Look, we can't see into the future, so I can't judge that one. I think this one is a decent signing. It adds some experience and some Prem experience, which is key. I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 10. But if he stays fit, he may be the secret that keeps us up in the Premier League next season. What are your thoughts? And then finally, Keylor Navas coming from PSG for, well, we all know his accolades, 3 Champions League, one of the best goalkeepers in his time at Real Madrid, but a keeper that is quite old, coming to the end of his career and wasn't getting a look in at PSG once Donnarumma got through the door. Look, I'll be straight with you guys. This one feels to me a bit like a Jesse Lingard signing from the summer. It looks good on paper. It gives us, a lot of publicity in terms of the pulling power that Forest have. But I still think Hendo is the number one. And I think this signing could cause some issues both ways. What do I mean by this? I think that once Hendo's back in, if Hendo is selected as the number one choice, Navas won't be pleased to be sitting on the bench. If Navas comes in and is the number one choice, Hendo won't be pleased to be sitting on the bench once he's back and fit. On top of that, the other major issue I have at the moment is both our first choice, or 1 and 2 keepers, are both loanees. Neither are settled in at Forest. Neither are guaranteed to be playing with us next season. And that for me is a little bit of a worry. I think out of all of the signings, this one's the one that got me scratching my head. Maybe I'm looking at it because I wanted Livakovic for 10 million euros, which I still think is a bargain. But I'm going to give Navas a 6 out of 10. Look, he's going to do fine between the sticks. He is. But it's the off-the-field stuff that may start to cause issues. Now, I don't know what reassurances he's been given. Is he been guaranteed a first-team place? No one's guaranteed a first-team place. I understand that. But when it comes to keepers, you can define who's a first choice and who's a second choice. If that's the case, how's Hendo going to feel about it? We know what happened when that definition was given to him at Manchester United. So this one worries me a little. In terms of the name, in terms of everything else, it looks fantastic on paper. But as I just mentioned, is it potentially a Jesse Lingard? I'm giving this Navas one a 6 out of 10. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope he's going to be fantastic, obviously. But I just want to know who's going to be defined as number one and who's going to be defined as the second choice goalkeeper. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And then touching on the outgoings, a lot were rumored to be outgoing, likes of Steve Cook, who survived. God, he's a survivor, isn't he? Been told to fight for his place. The one that did go was Lewis O'Brien, and this for me is not good business. Look, I understand there's very clear issues off the pitch between him, some other players, maybe even the manager. There's a thing he did on Twitch, and the Leicester match. All of those seems to have initiated the decline in the relationship between Lewis O'Brien and Nottingham Forest. I still really like him. I think he was our best player in the first 2 months of the season. Real warrior, getting in there, battling away. I remember how, when he came on against Fulham, how he turned the game potentially. So it's one of those ones, but I'm not happy he's gone. I hope Blackburn don't get promoted now, so he comes back to Nottingham Forest. That for me would be good. Maybe a lot of game time will help him out, but we'll see on that one. So overall, I'm going to rate the transfer window for me as a solid 7 out of 10. I think we've put in some really good experience in there. A couple of youth players in Danilo, who I think is going to be fantastic. And obviously Scarpa for me is the signing of the window. I feel like the squad is shaping up really well. If I'm being straight with you, I would have liked one more centre-back. Tar would have been a fantastic choice to bring in. We were linked with him from Leverkusen. I still think we are one, maybe two centre-backs short of a good squad and one prolific striker away. But with that said, there's enough in this team that we push up higher up the table. And I still think we will surprise a lot of people with where we finish this season. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you rate this window as? Put a number in the comment from 1 to 10. And put in there as well where you think Nottingham Forest will finish this season in the Premier League. We'll be back with a preview to the Manchester United game. We'll be there for the watch along for you tonight from 7:30 and the player ratings following that. Before you leave, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new to Forest Fan TV, and we'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.